Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Hey, hi again. Okay, I think
Hi,
we need to be honest. I think we need to be honest that we only took a 5-minute break.
Yes, it's been too long.
Yes, it's the modern world. Let me just
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just so people don't think we're rude and we're skipping on all the formalities and the hi, how are yous and
Exactly. And why are these women wearing the same clothes one week to another? No.
That's true. We should have switched shirts. Oh. Well, you know what? Maybe some people are not even watching. Maybe they're just listening, and then if we hadn't said anything, they wouldn't even have noticed.
Yep. And the cat is out of the bag.
Yeah, but we like to be honest here.
We like to be honest here. And and I got you waiting around a little bit because my boyfriend arrived because we're having a meal tonight. And look, he brought me roses.
Oh, it's so sweet. I love that.
No particular
Although, sorry?
No particular reason. He's just the loveliest.
That's actually adorable. I'm not a huge fan of flowers or receiving flowers, but I think just the gesture itself is very sweet. So if already we're showing off what our boyfriends bring us, my boyfriend likes to bring me like the sweet, like the cherry tomatoes because he knows I like them, or garlic, or wine and beers and little snacks that he knows that I like. I feel like that's so sweet. I love that when they're so thoughtful and
yes,
they pay attention.
It's very cute. It's very cute and so easy to do. I mean, I think roses. It's a bit. It's a bit of a budget, but garlic or bottle of wine and things because I'm the girly girl. Like, oh, I'm happy with roses and chocolate and perfume. Like anything. I've been brought up on romantic comedies and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, as you should do. I think every person should own what they love. And I think it's very sweet that he also knows that you love it. So that's why he's investing in it.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's the greatest thing about a relationship, and a healthy one at that, is that with the other person knows you, they're attentive, they listen, and they bring you things that you actually like, or small things that show that they actually listen to you and pay attention to the small details. So
yeah, I agree. And the reason he went food shopping is because, right, so yesterday I was at my parents' in the capital of cheese of France. Like we have
I love that.
And so tonight we are inviting friends to have a cheese fondue.
Oh, yummy.
Now that I know that you love cheese, I'm going to do that for you when you come in France.
Cheese. Oh, yay. By the way, I'm coming to France, everyone.
Okay, in February.
Boom. Yeah, we have time.
So yesterday, I thought I'm going to buy cheese. So 1 kilo of cheese, yeah? A lot of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot it.
Cheese. And what did you do?
Got it.
That's the main event. That's what everyone's coming for.
I was one
hour
coming
for the company. They're coming for the cheese.
I was 1 hour into a 2-hour drive, and I was like, "Oh my god, I forgot the cheese." Anyway, and so because he's amazing, he went to buy some more cheese and got me flowers.
Oh, you hear that, people? Only date people who will drive to get you cheese and roses. I love it. It's actually really sweet. And my maybe we should talk about this once, but my love language is acts of service. And I feel like that's the best way, in my opinion, to show love is by by doing things for the people you love. And it doesn't mean you have to go all out of your way all the time. It shows. I think that's what screams love the most, is when you really care about someone and you're willing to do things for them just because, and without complaining, without saying, oh, why do I need to do this now, without making you feel bad about it, and just because
Yeah.
we're in a partnership and that's what we do for each other.
Yeah, I agree.
So I love that.
I have kind of like, it depends, but I kind of go between two love languages. One is touch. I'm a very tactile person.
Yeah.
And so I have like, whenever if I sleep on my own, I have teddy bears and things, like I need to be, wrapped up.
So cute.
And the other is like small gifts. And so he will often, like, whenever he'll go food shopping, he'll come back with like a small thing of chocolate, or like this, he got me this little thing with written "Je t'aime" on it.
Oh,
So anyway,
it's small things that are so adorable.
Anyway, so he got me in a really amazing mood before our second podcast.
Yay, that's fun. We love that. We should have an episode once where they both come on, and it would be really hilarious.
Does yours speak English?
Yes, but not the great as yours. I love that he's mine. He's like my property. But yes, he kind of speaks English. Kind of. It's adorable. You'll yeah.
Same with mine. He speaks English with it would be fun. It would be very.
It would be hilarious. Yeah.
Tell us if you want this. To all the listeners.
Yeah.
Tell us if you want this. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know that like with like my family and my friends, everyone wants to meet him. Everyone wants to know who's the guy that actually got me off the market, because I've been known for the past few years as the single sister or the single friend or the single person who's just so happy on her own and so doing my thing. People were so surprised at that, at just how like, you said you did, and now everyone's twisting my words. It's so funny to see now in retrospect how people say, hey, you said you never wanted to get married, and you said said, first of all, we're not getting married yet. We're like not even talking about that yet. But like, I'm like, but I never said that I don't want to get married. I just said I'm not in a rush to get married or to find someone. I'm just enjoying my thing. So it's so funny. I think it's called the Mandela effect, where people just misremember things. And funny story, and I'm going to sidetrack here for a moment because I just remembered. On Thursday, he came with me to my cousin's wedding. And suddenly everyone was like, oh my God, you look so happy. We're so happy for you. And it was cute. It was fun. It was exciting. And in the moment, I didn't really think too much of it. But only afterwards, I was like, hey, wait a minute. I was happy before as well. It's like everyone's saying it as if it was like I was so miserable before on my own. And suddenly now I'm happy. No, I'm not happier. I'm not, more content than I was when I was single. I'm just even more happy, or I'm happy in a different way. And I feel like that's kind of a mentality where it just annoys the
yeah.
But it was cute. I mean, people were very supportive and people were very funny, and everyone's like, when are you getting married? I'm like, huh. So if you're single, it's like, when are you gonna find someone? Your clock is ticking. Then you find someone. It's like, when you're getting married and having kids, your clock is ticking. And then when you're married, you're like, when are you having kids? Come on. And then when you have a kid, it's like, when are you having a second one? Sorry, I'm like going through a rabbit hole here. So you need to stop me at some point.
No, yeah, I feel that. And now and because I know that people are asking my dad, like, when are you becoming a grandfather? As if he has any say over it.
Yeah.
So that's us gushing about our boyfriends. Let's go talk some rubbish about Love is Blind.
Yeah. You see, there was a few more things that I actually wanted to say about this, and there was one thing that, again, for those of you who haven't listened, watched, wherever you're consuming this, yes, we've been talking about Love is Blind. We spoke about mainly season 3. I feel like we haven't gotten to season 4 yet, but I kind of want to say something about the whole premise of the show. And I'm very interested to see what you think of this as a love coach. I don't think that this is such a great format to find love. I think Love is Blind it's just not going to work, because love isn't blind, and it isn't just down to one sense. I mean, you're taking away not only the physical look of how someone looks, if they're attractive or not. There's something about being in the same room with a person without a wall between you. Well, first of all, you can really soak up person's vibes. Like, there's something about it, like, where you feel more of like the presence of a person. And also, I feel like, yes, physical attraction is part of it. And case in point, in the show, there was quite a few of them that didn't work. I think a lot of because of the physical aspect, and a lot of them actually switched partners in the middle, especially in season 4. And I feel like also a lot of things get lost in translation when you're not face to face. Like, where you're talking and you sort of, without like, I mean, I'm assuming also a lot of things are muffled. You can't hear great beyond the wall, but I feel like you miss the little nuances in someone's face, the way they say things, the way they, I don't know, I feel like something there gets lost, and it's why so many of the couples don't work. Because yes, on paper, when you're listening and having a conversation, all is great, but you're only using one sense, where there's so much more aspects to it.
Interesting. I have obviously many views on this, and as we just said, one of my main love language is touch.
Mm-hmm.
And being French, like, you know, we do la bise, which is, you know, the kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
And it's something kind of, when I don't get it, it's kind of uncomfortable for me. Not that I really like genuinely enjoy it. It's just that it kind of, you know, it gets off about telling me what this person is like. Are they a bit brutal? Are they soft? Are they kind of gentle? So that's one thing that I would be very uncomfortable with. And you want the eye contact as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take away just, I like the idea of no physical attraction. I disagree. I think physical attraction is important, but I think that it's less important than what most people think. But taking away the idea of physical attraction, it's just eye contact. You can tell a lot from eye contact. And same with, we were talking about Zenab and Cole, and we're not going to go over them again. But maybe if they had seen each other, maybe if Cole had more time to analyze Zenab's kind of behavior, then there'd be, you know, we'd know more about what happened and things like that. And so I like the fact that, you know, you want to get to know someone before you see them, but it's a whole. And you know, and when they were saying, some of them are saying, you know, it's the biggest decision of your life. No, in 2023 or 2022, whenever this was filmed, marrying someone should not be the biggest decision of your life. It should feel so easy, because you've been dating this person, you know this person, you've gotten to know this person. Like, it should feel like such an easy thing to just decide to get married. So I mean, I enjoy, because we said it in the previous episode, it is good, it is quality bad television, you know. It's, so I enjoy watching it. But whole loving, you know, finding love within a couple of weeks and then marrying them within a couple of weeks. I will say this, I think that it is possible to fall in love within a couple of weeks. So I'm going to put an asterisk on that if you don't fall in love within a couple of weeks, that doesn't mean you're not going to fall in love. And not everybody does fall in love. But I do feel that, you know, getting to know someone and getting these feelings and just like you connect on such a way that it feels intense can happen. But you can also fall out of love very fast. And love that can last isn't love that happens overnight, over a couple of weeks, because you can fall in love with someone, but then realize that, you know, that they're an international drug dealer that has enemies in the diamond industry, and whatever, you know, hashtag Tinder swindler and all of that. So, you know, you can kind of fall in love and get those feelings of, I'm feeling very good and bubbly around them. But what's sustainable is living with this person for a while and getting to know them in their everyday life. and things like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think you can find love in the dark, in the pods. I think it's, you can, okay, I'm going to change that. I don't think you can find sustainable love in the pods. And the proof is that most of the people that got married are no longer married.
Yeah.
The people who are still married are the ones that kind of, they lived together and they went through some stuff and now they are, they are stable. But the ones that got to know each other and stayed together for a bit, they just realized that they weren't made for each other.
Yeah. And a lot of them don't even make it to the wedding part. Like a lot of them don't even get married. And I think the faster the process is, the faster it will also end. I feel like when you rush things, it's like you're condensing so much and it's sort of like overwhelming that you overlook so many important aspects. And then when you finally have time to breathe and look at it and suddenly, oh, maybe we're not that suitable, because you're sort of rushing into it that you just ignore a lot of things and you're more blinded to a lot of other aspects that you can't see because you're focusing too much on just rushing and rating and clout and like exposure and I don't know why I'm saying things 3 times, but I feel like no, physical attraction isn't the most important thing. I do feel like it's important in this like situation. I don't think it's that much of a, because again, when you come on this show, they're not going to bring an ugly person. They're not going to bring the average Joe. That they're going to bring someone who is conventionally beautiful, or at least sort of beautiful. They're not going to bring anyone who doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So that you're not going to be completely screwed, even if you like sort of whatever. But I feel like, again, you can say a lot about a person when you're just with them in the same room, when you're getting eye contact, when you're feeding their hand on your knee, when you're sort of with them. And I feel like, yes, maybe for the first couple of dates could be interesting to talk and ignore for a moment, because that could really help you sort of like rush into things and dive right into the sheets or right into touching, which can blind you completely. But
we're on form.
I'm not doing it purposely. I swear I'm not doing it purposely. But I was saying, what was I saying? That again, it might be good for like a first couple of date things, but I think for the long run, you're sort of just postponing the inevitable, because again, there's so many aspects to love and there's so many components to it, and you need to use all of your senses when choosing a partner. Yeah. And so I don't feel like it's, especially since I don't think they really care about, I think what, they probably don't want a lot of people to end up together because they want the drama.
They do,
and they want the drama. And case in point, when season 4, I think there was like at least 2 couples who ended up switching their chosen person, which just goes to show that it has nothing to do with not seeing them, and not having any physical attraction to them. Because I think, who was it? I think I wrote down the names somewhere.
Yeah, there was the Russian
Zach, who was dating this Russian girl, I think she was, and then he switched to Bliss midway through because they didn't have any physical attraction. So,
well, she didn't have physical attraction to him.
Yeah, but
Yeah. It's, I would say, I'm gonna say this: physical attraction is not everything. No. But you don't want to be with someone who kind of repulses you.
Well, that would be
yeah. No, but there's something to say, but this is completely subjective and to each their own. But I've got a type. I think most women have a type, and they kind of look similar because it's the whole, maybe Prince Charming or just like this buff guy. Everybody can, like, every single person can say physically this is the type of person that I prefer. And then there are people that like really repulse me. Like I can't deal with people who have bad teeth. I'm sorry. It's just, I can't. You need to have good dental hygiene.
I can understand that. That's disgusting.
And so sorry.
It's okay.
But then there is
we're open here.
Exactly. we're saying what we feel. It's our podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then there's everything in between of, guys that are not my amazing type, but they don't particularly repulse me, but they're just, I'm not feeling the attraction. I'm open to get to know these guys because then you can develop a connection over time because of, how you feel around them, how they make you feel, and things like that. And so Love is Blind is not doing that because the real test would have, average people, not these good looking people. They would just have average people or even people who are, under average to see really how it is. And then you get the real thing and just people who do realize that it's not important and things like that. So yeah, so that's why dating somebody in the dark doesn't help, because you want to make sure that they don't, have these things. Imagine you're going to date someone who looks exactly like your father.
Ugh. Yeah.
I mean,
no.
You want to see
disturbing.
Them. You want to see them. So, physicality doesn't make everything. I mean, next time when we do this podcast with our guys, my boyfriend, he very early on said that I wasn't his type. He said, you're a beautiful woman and everything, but you're not the usual type of woman I would go for.
Yeah.
And that's just a perfect example of just, fine. We still got, we got to know each other and it went very fast, and it was kind of like just, we meshed with each other really well. But I'm not the type of person he goes for usually. And if he had shut the door on that, then we wouldn't be together today.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know what? I actually feel like a lot of times we don't really know what we want. We feel like we think we know what we want, but then we don't really. And a lot of times when we bit what we want, now we find most success. And often people date the same type of typecast because that's their type, but then they keep on failing because they're not willing to, stretch the boundaries a bit, or just, go a bit out of what they're used to.
This is what happened in the last season of Love is Blind, where what's his name? We're so bad with names. But basically, they really clicked in the pods, and then they came out, and he said, "You're really not my type," and he was just not able to go beyond that.
Yeah, yeah, it happens a lot. Well, look, I also think that one of the main things that differentiate friendship and a romantic relationship is the physical attraction, the physical touch, the chemistry and things like that. So obviously, if you're just talking beyond the wall without the physical touch, it's just a friendship at that point. You know what I mean? It's not, which is important. It's important to be friends in a relationship, but you have to have that attraction to sort of differentiate whether it's just a friendship or not.
What makes our relationship different, and by our, I mean you and I, from yours with your boyfriend or mine with my boyfriend, is that kind of physical attraction and that tactileness and just things like that. Even, okay, fine, we are, far away from each other geographically, but even if sometimes, JT and I, we are in different areas, and so we call. What makes that call different is that because, he might tell me I'm beautiful, I might send him a kiss, and you are beautiful, Michelle, by the way, you know this.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. But it's just, we are attracted.
So are you, by the way.
I'm just admiring my roses.
Yes.
But no, it's that thing, I want to attract him. I want to flirt with him. I want to have that kind of sexual kind of undertone that you cannot have if you don't know what that person looks like.
No, you can't. And then when you see them, it's sort of, and here's the problem, is that when you postpone it, it's even more painful, because now you have this connection that you built in the pods, but then you're sort of even more disappointed because you see each other and you see that there's no attraction, or they're just not for you, they're not your type, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you're sort of like just even more disappointed, you're even more hurt because you're more emotionally invested into it. So yeah, it's important to not, base all your choices on physicality, but if you're taking it away completely, then again, you're going into it blind, and I don't like doing things without my eyes open.
Yeah. I mean, fun after fun. But I agree. I
I
mean,
know.
that you don't want to go into things blind. And
Yeah,
the whole expression, I mean, it's not that deep, but love is blind. It doesn't mean that you don't need to care about what they look like. It means that some of the things they do, you can just close your eyes and it doesn't exist.
yeah,
That's what that means. But going into any situation, you want to be fully aware.
yeah. Oh, and you know what else, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is I feel like the physical part or the appearance part or the chemistry part that you can only feel when you're together is how you also differentiate which person you actually want to be with. Because obviously, in the pods, you see this a lot. They catch feelings or they like multiple people. And so I feel like at the end of the day, it's so much harder to decide to go with. And normally, the chemistry you have with the person or the physical attraction that you have with the person is what will break that tie. And when you don't have that, you're more prone to making mistakes or going for the wrong person, in my humble opinion, I guess.
Yeah, completely. I'd obviously 100% agree. I mean, the whole dating several people and things like that, I get that. I mean, you don't want to be, you and I have slightly different things of when it comes to helping single women, where you're going to focus your
Yeah,
priority on getting them to be good feeling single, and I'm going to focus my priority after they've done that work. Then I'm going to get them to dating things again. And I'll tell them you
yeah,
can date several people at the same time. Like, this is a priority. You're not wasting time here. But it's only a couple of people, and it's they know very quickly how they feel around these people. And
hmm,
usually women, I don't know about men, but usually women, they can feel when the guy, there's something wrong with it.
yeah,
And having and being in a different place, like having a wall between you, you don't get that just like energy exchange of just,
no,
this non-palpable thing of just you can't tell.
yeah. And I feel like a lot of times, like you're literally talking to a wall, so you don't know how your words are landing. You don't know how they're being taken. You can't jump off each other's reactions or facial expressions or eye contact. There's a lot of things that are getting lost here. And I think it's good to, at least in the beginning, to not put all your eggs in one basket and to date a few people and see what's best for you. But again, without having that person right there in the room with you, then what are you really doing? So again, we're circling back to the fact this is just for entertainment, because it's a social, they say it's a social experiment, but obviously with just about a 10% success rate, it's not a very successful
Yeah.
experiment. And yet it continues to a third, fourth, and probably fifth season because people are watching it, because people don't care about the success rate. People just want the entertainment and want to see other people crumble in love. I don't know, to feel sort of not alone in that kind of distress of finding love.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the problem is, I think we were talking about this in one of the previous episodes, like we have this notion of just growing up with all the fairy tales and love stories. And I feel like I see this a lot when watching these shows, that you expect things to be perfect. You expect things to just fall into place and be all rosy and pink, when at the end of the day, relationships take hard work. And you see this as a love coach. You just spoke about the guy you were talking to who's trying to save his relationship. It's not all pink and rosy. It shouldn't all be pink and rosy. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why so many people fail in love. And you can see this again and again in all of these reality shows.
Yeah, exactly. And it's we live in a generation where people give up very easily, and divorce rates are extremely
Hmm.
high. And so, yes, there are some marriages and relationships that need to end just because of toxicity and violence and all of this. But a lot
Yeah.
of the relationships, they end because people just stop putting in effort and they give up.
Hmm.
And it's such a shame because imagine you're on a 10-year relationship and then you end it. And let's say it's just because you give up. That means you have to start again from the beginning with the next one. Whereas if you kind of fight and get over that 10-year thing, then you can continue building and going up and up
Yeah.
and up and up. And so instead of just having these, like, medium or tiny blocks of relationships, you can have one big, amazing structure. And so, yeah, I think that's the the Hollywood and reality TV of just everything is supposed to be easy. If it's not easy, you deserve better and you need to get everything together and blah blah blah. But that also means just giving up quicker. And so you don't end
Yeah.
up with a 60-year marriage where you've traveled around the world together and have 3 kids and I don't know, and just have, amazing, like, you don't even need to talk to understand each other. Because if you're divorced and you have kids with somebody else, then you have to pay alimony, and energy is is divided differently, and it's just starting over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. I mean, sometimes it's inevitable, but sometimes it's just a
Yeah.
matter of you need to push forward. And sadly, I would argue that it is women giving up more easily than men.
Interesting. Why do you feel that way? I'm curious.
Well, because first of all, 80% of divorces are led by women.
That's true. But is that more because of them or more because of how they've been treated in the relationship?
Well, I say that there is definitely a part of how they've been treated in the relationship, but there is
Yeah.
definitely a part of them. I mean, I see some of my male clients, actually, all of my male clients are who are single because it's the women that broke up.
Hmm.
And I can say with absolute certainty that these men are not narcissists or toxic people whatsoever. They're just men. They may have been clumsy, they may have been unaware,
Yeah.
but they were definitely not toxic bastards that hurt these women.
Yeah.
And so and it women tend to tell themselves I deserve better more easily
Yeah.
than men do. This being said, men will put in less effort than women in a relationship.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there is there is, one doesn't go without the other. But women, what I often see, especially with like the women that I have had as clients, why they broke up with their ex-partner and things like that, they would give me a reason, and I said, "Is that really what's important?" And they kind of like, "But I mean,"
Yeah.
and it's no, they just they can't find the middle ground of, well, maybe I need to work on myself or work on the relationship and things like that.
Yeah. And that's what happens a lot. Well, first of all, I believe it's probably because, again, we grew up with that notion that we have to find Prince Charming or the knight in shining armor. And again, I feel like this is why a relationship shouldn't start with sparks and fireworks, because when it does, it sort of dies down very quickly. And then you sort of like, but where are the fireworks? I want them back. And sort of, but when you're easing into it and you're just doing
Yeah,
it naturally. And my friend and I were talking about this. We are just like talking about how we love with just chill vibes, like just chilling. And it's like, not in a way where it's sort of like, yeah, like, it's sort of like half-assed, but more in a way of just, it's just good, pure love where you're just relaxed in it and you're just not over dramatic with your love and you're not overly intense with your love and you're not like sort of like in love to the point where you can't think straight or where you're putting the person on a pedestal. And that's a lot of times where these things falter, where you're sort of expecting them to be that way. You're expecting to be in love beyond your anything in your world. And when you don't feel that way, you think that something's wrong. And I feel like a lot of times that happens when you don't have enough things going on for you in your life and your relationship is your main thing. Like you were talking about beforehand, how getting married is the greatest decision or greatest thing that biggest decision of your life or the greatest thing that will happen to you. And it isn't. And
No,
it
it's
isn't.
not.
And again, this is a huge contributor to that. When you think that this is the greatest thing you're going to do, then of course you're not gonna be willing to settle for anything. And of course you're gonna expect everything to be rosy and pink and perfect with capital letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, in France we have this expression called coup de foudre, which the meaning of that means love at first sight, but it's the way you translate it is a thunderstrike. And so they mean, love hits you like thunder. But if you think about it, thunder is destructive. Would you rather a thunder create a forest fire and be destructive, or just light a little match, put it in the chimney, and just like make it go, catch on fire, and then just look after it and it be cozy? You see what I mean?
I love that analogy. I love it. I want to give you standing ovations, but
thank you. I'm gonna take
yes. I love it. You should write it down. Why is that not an Instagram post or reel or something? Why is that not viral yet?
Okay. I mean,
write it down. Oh my God.
This happened at 13:57. I'm writing it down. It's a timestamp. I'm putting it as gold.
It is gold. It is gold. And it's exactly right. It's spot on. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. But what were we saying?
That you don't want love to be overwhelming at the beginning. You want to tend to it, and you want it to grow fast. And this being said, if there is some excitement, you don't want to be afraid of it either. You just want to be wary of it. You just want to, okay, this excitement is not going to last forever. It's just, it would be like going on a roller coaster for people who enjoy that. You enjoy the 2-minute rush, but you can't be on that roller coaster for hours and hours and hours. You're going to throw up. I'm spitting gold here. It's amazing.
Yeah, I watched a video once on TikTok from this woman. I'm going to butcher this. She said it so beautifully, and I unfortunately do not have the highest skills of reenacting things, but I'll try or retelling things. She was talking about how everyone is so like when they look back on their relationship, how their most memorable time or their most loved time was in the beginning where everything was perfect and pinky and sparkly and whatever. And she was like, I feel like my hero now is the greatest time when I wake up every morning with my partner and I say, this is when I love you most, and tomorrow I'll love you even more. And I just love this person here and now. And I feel like a lot of times this happens because we focus too much on that beginning phase where it's cute, it's fun, it really is, but I feel that way now with my boyfriend, where every day that passes and I feel more and more comfortable with him, I just feel like I have more space to just have fun and relax and do things and just, I don't know, focus on better things rather than focus on the past and what was and what is, and just enjoy each phase as it comes.
There's an episode in Friends where Chandler and Monica kind of like, Monica becomes a bit panicky because they are outside of this honeymoon period.
I remember that.
And so she's saying, oh, I'm worried, like there's no more spark, blah blah blah. And Chandler goes, I enjoy where we are now, of just being comfortable with each other and understanding each other and like knowing that we can rely on each other. And I thought that's great. That is because I also enjoy the beginning and the rush and things, but I also enjoy being able to just wake up, not care about how I look. And in general, I'm not a big, makeup or hair, like, as you can tell today, I'm not wearing any.
Neither am I.
But I've never seen you wear makeup.
I don't. I put on some makeup last week not makeup. I put on like eyeliner, and the most I do every day, well, not every day, but when I go out of the house, I can't go out without mascara because I just love mascara. But other than that, I rarely ever. Makeup, I don't put, like the foundation, whatever, I never put that on.
But so, I mean, we're similar like that way. But sometimes, I'll wear a nice clothes and things, and like, but I also enjoy just being lazy and not caring and still being with my boyfriend and just being lazy together and not pretending that I'm this, I enjoy the museum and blah blah blah. So no, I want to Netflix and chill with you no sexual innuendo. I just want to do nothing in my PJs and eat popcorn.
Yeah. But isn't that the most adorable thing in the world when someone loves you, like in your like sort of naturalist moment? I feel
Yeah.
like we had it like last night. We were laying down in bed and my hair was like a complete mess, and he was like, "Oh my God, your hair is like so messy," and I'm like, "And you still love me?" And he's looking at me with like these bright eyes, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so in love." And it's like, or maybe it's just the fact that he did that to me. I don't know if that's TMI, but like to my hair. But yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. You want to be comfortable. I mean, it is. I agree. It's the cutest and it's the best. And as soon as you've got no more pressure to be kind of just the best version of yourself. So this is what I say.
Hmm.
When you are dating, you want to be the best version of yourself because you want to give yourself every single chance. But
Yeah.
you want to let go of that very soon and be able to just be yourself because that's what's sustainable. You can't be the best version of yourself 100% of the time. It's like
Yeah.
going for a job interview. You want to go as the best version of yourself, but you're not going to be the best version of yourself all the time at work. And that's
Hmm.
fine. It's the same with dating. And I enjoy way more when I'm not the best version of myself. You know, last week I was on my period and I get really bad stomach pain. At the
Mm.
beginning, you're not going to go and see the guy. You're just going to stay at home. Well, he was here and just, cuddling me and he made me hot chocolate and it was fantastic.
Yeah, that's adorable. And I feel like that's, look, I'm all for like being your best self. I don't believe in like going in with like trying to be someone you're not. Just be natural. Just be yourself. And I feel like that's another problem with these shows and why they're so problematic is because it's either one of two cases. Either you come on and you're so consciously aware of the cameras, so you're like sort of holding yourself more properly or differently, or putting on a bit of a show for the cameras, because obviously there's not much you can do about it. Even with us, with our conversation now, it's so natural, but we have a camera on us, so obviously we're going to be, you know,
Slightly different.
adjusting ourselves, and we're going to be talking. Yeah, we're not going to be as we are in real life or when we're having a conversation not on camera. So that can make us put on a bit of a show and be a bit different. So the person doesn't, especially when they can't see, they don't know that you're putting on a bit of a show for the cameras. So that's one. Or we are talking about this beforehand. I think, what was their name with Matt? You were saying that Colleen was talking about that he was like sort of like overwhelmed with the cameras. It can make you do a lot of stupid things or come off like a person that you're not, or be paranoid, or be like antsy and crazy. And so it sort of, how did I even get to this? But yeah, I think I'm putting on a show sort of, especially on camera, it makes you become a different person. And then so when you are off camera, or when sort of that bubble bursts or the pink phase dies down, you're sort of left with someone that the other person doesn't really know, because you've been putting on a front this whole time.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe to be yourself as early as possible, so the people begging and they don't like it, then that's okay, because you can't be the person for everyone. And I felt that way my first date with my boyfriend. I was like, I'm done with like trying to impress. I'm done with trying to like be someone that you're gonna like and want to date me for. I'm just gonna come myself. And if you don't like it, there's the door.
Yeah, but you're still gonna show up clean and
Oh, for
and
sure.
and
But I
you're
would do
not
that
gonna.
to my friend as well. I'm not gonna do, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go over, like, for my first date with my boy. Well, he first of all he took me to the local park and we had like a cute picnic at night. So it was like very informal. Like we're both like that, so it's like very fitting. I came with jeans and this basic sweatshirt, which I actually bought from the men's section. So I was like, I'm coming like my naturalist. Like I'm not even putting. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You just want, when I say best version of yourself, it's that. It's just you're not gonna come and just complain and be kind of just
Oh, for sure.
after the gym and things like that. You just want to be yourself,
Yeah.
put your best foot forward, but you want to be sustainably yourself. And I agree with these
Hmm.
with these shows, that so much makeup. I mean, actually, there was one, the in the fourth season, the Pilates instructor.
Oh, I didn't actually write it down because they're not together anymore. He cheated on her. That was so
Did.
sad.
She, I think, was the most genuine. Like
Oh, she was lovely. I liked her.
Raven.
I feel so bad for her. Raven. Oh, yeah.
Like she felt like just I'm just gonna be. So it helps to be a beautiful woman and just like be in the
Yeah.
standard. But I felt like she was just the normal version of herself. It didn't feel like putting on a show. Whereas Zenab and Alexa, they definitely just put on a show for the.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. No, it's important to yes, to come, like, it is important to show that you care. I feel like at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. Because you're not gonna come like, oh, I'm just gonna come whatever, like half asleep or without any effort at all. You want to show that you care and that you're present and that you're doing this with intention. But you also don't want to come and start putting on a show and pretending to be someone that you're not, because at the end of the day, that's not gonna create a relationship that lasts.
Yeah.
Because first of all, eventually they're going to discover who you really are, and second of all, you're going to become very jaded from putting on a show for so long, and you want to be with someone who accepts you as you are, who sees how weird and quirky you are and loves you for it even more.
100%. And it's the thing that I tell people is just they will look at you because they are attracted to you, but they will stay because you are vulnerable, because you're being your stupid
Mm-hmm.
self and all of this. Like the whole thing, they will
Yeah.
love you for your faults is true. Like they will see what's wrong with you and still love you because they know that you're not putting on a show. Because light doesn't exist without darkness. As in,
Yeah.
if you are perfect 100% of the time, then they don't know the difference about what's true and what's not true. Whereas if
Yeah.
sometimes you're just very negative and you're down there and things like that, it goes to show that the good times are really amazing.
Yeah. And let's face it, perfect doesn't exist. There's no such thing as perfect in anything in life. So if you're being perfect, I think that's an indicator that you're being fake, and it's boring. It really is boring. It's like I want and I don't mean that I want drama and spice, because I don't. I mean, I want your authentic self. I want to see the weird, quirky, stupid, ridiculous, childlike side of you as much as I want to see also the intellectual, smart and clever and put together side of you. I don't want to just see that perfect front that everyone puts up, and I don't want you to adapt yourself to exactly what I need, because that's not
Yeah.
a partnership at the end of the day, and that's just gonna end up crumbling.
Yeah, I want to see the worst version of yourself to know what to expect if it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually talking to my boyfriend about this, is that we, knock on wood, boy, we don't argue, we don't fight, we don't like, pinpoint petty things and then blow it up. But we did had like one big argument at the beginning, like right in the beginning. And I feel like we were talking about this the other day. I said, I'm so glad that that happened. And I'm so glad it happened when it happened. First of all,
Oh, oh, oh,
I think
it froze.
ah, can you
I'm
see me?
so,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I'm so glad that that happened.
Oh, I said, I'm so glad that that happened. So I'm so glad that that happened when it happened, because I feel like it highlighted for both of us, first of all, our own insecurities and our own um, sore points, and both in each other and each for our own, so we know what is bothering us and how we can fix it. And also right in the beginning, so you know what you're going into. I know what his pressure points are, I know what bothers him, and I know how I can prevent it, or what I can do differently, so I'm not pushing on those pressure points. And I feel like it's important, and that's how you have a healthy relationship, when you see this blow up and you take it as a learning curve, and it's something that's important in a relationship, especially in the beginning, where you know who this person is, you know what their stars are, and you know what triggers these things.
Yeah.
And so you can adapt appropriately, not in a way like, oh, I'm just going to be fake from now on and I'm going to avoid this. No, but in a way where you can both maturely and in a healthy way discuss these things and move past it. And I'm proud to say that we've dealt with it very maturely, and that's why our relationship date is so healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get through these rough patches because they're just meant to be there.
Yeah.
Life is rough. And what makes life more beautiful is just getting over those rough patches and not stopping at them.
Yeah. And not expecting them to not happen, or not expecting or expecting or seeing them as red flags. Like, no, no, this shouldn't be happening. And look, they could be. I think we were also discussing this. Is like I told him I was a bit hesitant at first because I thought this thing that blew up now could either be a red flag or it could be a one-time thing that we learn from and move on. And then if it happens again, and if he blows up again and again from the same thing, I'm like, okay, no, this is already a red flag. This keeps happening. This is a pattern, and this is something that I can't deal with. Whereas if it's something that happens once, you learn from it and do better next time, and you show that you consciously want to do better, then that's something else entirely. And you have to learn how to be open minded in such a way and see things in a way that, you know how to differentiate whether it's a red flag or just something that you need to work on. Because at the end of the day, we're human beings and we all make
Yeah.
mistakes. We all have issues and we all have baggage. But that's something I hate in dating, where people are, I want someone without so much baggage. So yeah, sorry.
I agree.
Yeah.
Conclusion to
And I
that.
think these,
No,
sorry.
go.
I was going to say, I feel like this show also brings a lot of people with only baggage and that's what makes the show so interesting, which again, circling right back to the whole premise, is that they want rating, they want people to watch, and they want the drama. So they bring interesting people. They bring the people with the baggage. They're not just going to bring an average Joe that has nothing going on in their life, no drama, nothing. They're going to bring people with sub stories, or they're going to bring people with crazy traits, or they're going to bring people who are going to stir up drama and buzz and whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's everybody has baggage.
yeah.
Sure, okay. I would say everybody has baggage. Make sure that they kind of let that baggage be theirs and not let it overwhelm you, but be understanding
Mm-hmm.
of it at the same time.
Yeah. For sure. I feel like a lot of times, like when you come into a new relationship, and it's inevitable not to have a few scars from previous relationships. So you're like sort of wary. You want to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes. You want to make sure that you're not dating another person who's just going to hurt you in the same
Yeah.
ways again. And so obviously you don't want the baggage to become from a different relationship to become like this relationship, but you also can't ignore it. You can't like sort of send
Yeah.
it off and let it get lost in the world of luggage. But
Luggage and baggage.
yeah, fun, fun
Tell us
stuff
what your
indeed.
baggage is to the
My
subscribe.
baggage? I don't have baggage. I'm such a lightweight. Um, oh, I know what my baggage is. I'm a very cold person. I'm very British in that way. That's my British side. No, it will look, I'm not sure if this is considered baggage, but I'm very cautious with who I open up with. And I'm very cautious with who I allow myself to get attached to. So at first, and this is something that my boyfriend had a bit of an issue with in the beginning, because he didn't know how to even, like in Hebrew I was saying, I didn't know how to eat you up. Like I didn't know how to 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 to, to process this, because I can be very cold and distant at first. It takes me a long time to warm up and it's sort of like a defense mechanism, I guess, like sort of, because I don't like getting attached, and it happened a lot where you get attached to someone and then you just get heartbroken. So you sort of like, I'm just going to be cold and I'm not going to let you in until I'm 100% sure. Or I'm going to, try to chase you away and see if you actually run.
Yeah. Yeah, you
How
said
about you?
I
Yeah.
overanalyze.
Mm.
The problem I'm good at reading people, but then when I'm with people too often, I overread.
Yeah.
I just need to let people be themselves and not read too much into it.
yeah, it's hard to let that go, to just take
Yeah.
things at face value, or to just, but that's the beauty of having a relationship. And again, I come back to this, is the beauty of having a relationship, of just being open and talking to each other and just being yourself, because things on surface level, like not superficial. I mean, things are over the like not like nothing is kept under the surface, sort of like in a way of just things are just open and you talk about things. Like a lot of times we discuss like really heavy matters as if we're talking about the weather, because that's what keeps our relationship healthy, because we're always on point, we're always saying things, and it's not what we say is what we mean, and we know, we don't say things in like riddles, and we don't, play all these games. We just, and that's so important in
Yeah.
relationships. And I think that's something that in your 20s, I'm not sure how much you're capable of, because you thrive on drama and you thrive on,
And also you learn from it. You just learn from
oh,
these
for
mistakes.
sure. Yeah, yeah, it's important to learn from things, and I think, yeah.
Let us know what your baggage is in the
Ah, yes.
comments.
We want all the dirty details.
Or your baggage or somebody else's baggage that you were in a relationship with or are in a relationship with.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to hear. We wanna hear all the details of
You want to
like
hear all the details and yeah, all the podcast, all the social media, Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube.
YouTube, and then Spotify and all that. But you can't comment on Spotify.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the
Well, they can come follow us. We also have our own social media. I guess we can link it down below wherever they're watching, listening to this.
link it. We'll link it. And we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, and let us know what you thought of Love is Blind, and if you believe love is blind, and if you believe that people should ignore luggage or things like that. Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Bye bye. Yay.